I don't think people understand the true grandeur of Babylon. Even the name echoed with power. A city of unparalleled splendor, its walls, vast and impenetrable, stretched across the horizon. Towers soared, guarding against any threat. Within those walls, wonders abounded. The hanging gardens, a paradise of lush foliage and cascading waterfalls, defied nature itself, a testament to Babylonian might, a monument to their ingenuity. The streets pulsed with life. Merchants hawked exotic wares, chariots clattered over the stone roads, the air vibrated with the energy of a thriving civilization. Babylon, it seemed, would stand forever. At the heart of this empire ruled King Belshazzar. He was a man drunk on power, blinded by his own glory. The king feasted in his opulent palace. Gold glinted everywhere. Precious jewels adorned every surface. Music filled the air, a constant symphony to his greatness. Exotic dancers moved to the rhythm, their every move a tribute to his power. He reveled in the adoration of his court. They were lost in a haze of luxury, but beneath the surface, a darkness festered. The king had grown complacent. He had forgotten the source of his good fortune. He worshipped only himself. Prophets roamed the streets. They were draped in rough-spun robes, their eyes burning with a fierce light. They spoke of Babylon's sins. They warned of the city's impending doom. Their voices were lost in the cacophony of the city, drowned out by the sounds of revelry. The king and his court paid them no heed. Their words were like dust in the wind. Blinded by their arrogance, the Babylonians failed to see the signs. They ignored the cracks appearing in their foundations. They dismissed the whispers of their inevitable fate. One night, the king held a lavish feast. Wine flowed freely, laughter echoed through the grand hall. Belshazzar, fueled by pride and arrogance, made a fateful decision. He ordered his servants to bring forth the sacred goblets. These goblets, plundered from the temple in Jerusalem, were holy relics. They were not meant for earthly pleasures. The king and his guests drank from them, mocking the gods they believed they had conquered. Suddenly, the festive atmosphere chilled. A deathly silence descended upon the hall. All eyes turned towards the wall behind the king. A spectral hand, glowing with an eerie light, appeared as if from thin air. The hand moved across the wall, its ethereal fingers tracing strange symbols. Panic seized the court. The revelry turned to terror. The king, his face drained of all color, called for his advisors. They rushed to his side, their faces etched with fear. But none could decipher the meaning of the spectral script. Desperation clawed at the king's throat. He feared that the gods had turned against him. A hush fell over the court as Daniel, a man of God, was brought before the king. His eyes, filled with wisdom and sorrow, fell upon the inscription. He knew what it meant. He understood the terrible message it conveyed. Section 6. The river runs dry. Daniel spoke, his voice echoing in the silent hall. God has numbered your kingdom, O king, and brought it to an end. He deciphered the writing, each word a hammer blow to the king's heart. Daniel spoke of pride and arrogance. He spoke of the consequences of neglecting the true God. He warned that Babylon's days were numbered. That very night, fate was set in motion. Far from the glittering palace, a different scene unfolded. Under the cover of darkness, the Persian army approached the city. Led by the cunning Cyrus, they had devised a daring plan. Section 7. A city asleep. The Euphrates River, Babylon's lifeblood, flowed around the city, a seemingly insurmountable barrier. But Cyrus had a plan. His engineers had labored for weeks, diverting the river's course. As the night deepened, the water level within the city walls began to fall. The riverbed, once a watery grave for any attacker, slowly began to reveal itself. The stage was set for Babylon's downfall. Within the city, the king and his court remained oblivious. They were lost in their revelry, drunk on wine and their own perceived invincibility. They had dismissed the warnings, they had ignored the signs. Section 8. The Fall of Babylon. Under the veil of darkness, the Persian army waded through the receding waters of the Euphrates. Silently, they moved towards the city. Their footsteps were muffled by the mud, their presence unknown to the slumbering city. The Persians entered through the massive gates, left unguarded in their complacency. They poured into the city, a silent tide of destruction. Babylon, once thought impregnable, had been breached. The fall was swift. The Persians stormed the palace, their cries of victory echoing through the once joyful halls. The king's reign of arrogance was over. Babylon, the invincible city, had fallen. Section 9, a timeless lesson. The once mighty city, a symbol of wealth and power, was left in ruins. Its walls crumbled, its gardens withered, its people scattered. Babylon became a cautionary tale, a reminder that pride comes before the fall, that arrogance blinds us to the truth, that even the mightiest empires can be brought low by their own hubris. The story of Babylon serves as a timeless lesson, a warning whispered across the millennia, a reminder to stay humble, to heed warnings, and to never underestimate the power of truth.